Am I wrong for not wanting a relationship with my parents now they've cut me off? I'm a student. My parents make enough money that when I went through student finance to get my maintenance loan, I was told that I could only get the minimum, just over 3K a year, because finance is calculated from what your parents earn, and there's an assumption that your parents will help you out. I'm on a high-intensity course, and I wasn't sure how I'd be able to balance studying and schooling. So when I found out that I was going to get minimum, I told my parents that I wanted to either take the coming year to save up and then go to my first choice university a year later than planned, or go to my second choice now because I wouldn't be able to afford to live in the city that my first choice is in. My parents then said that they would pay my rent if I went to my first choice on schedule. They set me up in a studio flat, so all I had to do was to get a part-time job to cover the cost of food and bills. On the 18th of February, my 20th birthday, they called me and said that I was relying on them too much and that I needed to find out what the real world was like by earning my own money. So they would cover my rent and phone for that month, so until the end of February, and after that, I was on my own. Then said that they were still my parents and that they loved me and wanted me to stay in touch, just learn some independence while doing this. I begged them to reconsider, but they ended the call. So I had 11 days notice that I would have no flat or phone. I begged my uni for emergency housing, but they said that I had no proof that I'd been cut off, so they couldn't do anything. I emailed my parents asking them to write a letter stating they'd cut me off so that I could sort out my student finance and emergency housing. They said no. What's the logic in that? Sorry, OP has to learn how to be independent, but not like that. What? I asked if I could take on more hours and was told that due to my contract, I couldn't do any more than I'm already doing. So I'm now looking for a second job. I'm sleeping on a friend's sofa until a place I can afford opens up. And as I still don't have proof I've been cut off for student finance, I will probably have to drop out this summer. I got a Facebook message from them today telling me that they were disappointed that I didn't call on my mum's birthday a couple of days ago, and that I've not given them my new phone number yet. I responded telling them the position I'm currently in and that I no longer want a relationship with them. I've gotten a bunch of messages from them and my brother asking me to reconsider. My friend says that I shouldn't feel bad, but I feel incredibly guilty and like a spoiled brat because I don't love my family for their money, I love them because they are my family. But at the same time, they've really screwed me over here. Am I the asshole for not wanting a relationship with them? In the comments, Singin' Scott Lawyer says, not the asshole. Your parents royally screwed you over here. You had two separate plans to be able to afford to go to university yourself, and they said if you went to your first choice, they would help you out. To then cut you off with very little warning is completely unfair. I don't blame you for not wanting a relationship with them after they've put you in this position. So much this. OP obviously showed independence by rationalizing two separate plans that were easily achievable within their own, unassisted means. That is not a lesson of independence. OP only learned that they could not trust their parents. Not the asshole. They made an offer and backed out of it in the middle of a semester. If they wanted you to be independent, they should have let you make your own decision to go a year later. Now you're out of a home and struggling financially. And even if you got on top of your finances, you'll be strung too thin for your health. Because they pulled the rug out from under you. I understand. It feels real grimy to try to cut ties when money is involved. But really, it shouldn't be about the money. It's about the fact that they left you out to dry and they expected a thank you. While you might have a place to sleep right now, let's not ignore the fact that your parents made you homeless. It's not like they realized they couldn't afford your flat and asked you to find something cheaper. They totally cut you off with essentially no notice. It's not about the money. It's about the flagrant disregard for your well-being. You are certainly not the asshole. Emphasis on the homeless part. And not even just that, OP. They refused to give you the proof necessary for you to get help from elsewhere. It wasn't like they had to call or show up in person to prove it. All you needed was one email that you could print and show emergency housing, but apparently they didn't want that either. They wanted you to fail, OP. Not the arsehole. They only gave you an 11-day notice before you had to come up with the money for rent and your phone bill. That's messed up. Then they wouldn't write a letter so you could prove that you were financially independent? That's where I find them as the asshole. You don't have to talk to them if you don't want to. They were cruel on purpose. They are the definition of assholes. They work with surgical precision to ruin their child's life. Yeah, I would be losing my absolute shit if I was in OP's situation. Because, yes, OP did demonstrate the ability to be independent. They planned everything out so that they would be okay, and the parents intentionally said, no, we will support you, we promise. And then shot OP in the foot. They shot OP in the face with that one, honestly. I'd be so angry, I would cut them off for years. I would not have anything to do with them. They don't deserve OP's charitability for this. That's an insanely cruel and sadistic thing to do to your own child, to leave them homeless like that. Genuinely, who do they think they are? I am enraged for OP on OP's behalf. You deserve so much better. Your parents are such pieces of shit. Oh my god. They deserve even less than the worst for this. And now, onto the update. So I messaged them, asking them why they cut me off, saying the least they could do was explain why they're fine leaving me homeless. They responded. My friend, the one I'm staying with, is an out and proud lesbian. There are maybe 2 posts about me on her social media, one being a group shot of us, and some people that we were studying with in the library with me and her sat together, and another from a couple of days before my birthday where she posted a photo of me when we went to lunch because we weren't planning on seeing each other on my actual birthday, and in the caption, she refers to me as Princess in a clearly joking way. My brothers then showed our parents and told them that I was a lesbian and that she was my girlfriend. So now I have proof that they cut me off, proof they're homophobic, and confirmation that they can and will switch on me at the drop of a hat, as well as proof of my brothers, who are older than me and living with our parents, being jealous shitheads. They didn't just tell me this on the phone because they hoped I'd figure it out, which is tricky, given that it's not effing true. That was struck out, okay? Apparently there's enough affection still there for them to expect a call on Mum's birthday, but not enough to not totally fuck me over. So yeah, never talking to them again. Any of them. As you should, OP, screw them. I've sent screenshots to the person I spoke to in the emergency housing, though I've been warned that for something called emergency housing, it's not very fast. My friend has said that I can stay with her as long as I need. The reply my parents sent hasn't explicitly said the phrase, "we cut you off because," but given the context of them replying to my message, asking why, it should be enough. Thanks everyone. I felt really shitty cutting them off over finances, but now I know they're pure effing evil and I don't feel so bad. Here's my new plan. Changing the focus of my studies going into the 3rd year to focus on the subjects I want to do, not the ones that my parents wanted me to do. If I do this, I have a far better shot at getting a work placement. It's far less popular than my current field of study, and if I get a work placement, I can spend my 3rd year working full-time, earning a bit of cash, and then resume my studies the following year. Failing this, and if I can't get any help from the university or student finance, then I will defer my 3rd year and work full-time for a year. My friend says that I can stay with her as long as I need, and has said if I can't get emergency housing but can sort out my placement or another job, then we could get a place together next year so I have a confirmed roommate. I no longer think I'm the asshole, so I'll probably be taking this down. And the thing is, the thing where they struck out before, here's the thing. I might not be straight. I'm figuring it out, and I don't really have the capacity to go through it right now, but I've never said anything to anyone at all, because I knew my parents were homophobic. So my brothers may have thought that they were lying, but they also may have been inadvertently correct. And I have to say, being correct by accident is very typical of them. Update 15 days later. So here's how everything is shaped up. I won't be getting emergency housing from uni. I've not heard anything, and there's less than a month left before summer, so I'd be shocked if I got it at this stage. I'm still living with my friend. She got me a job at her workplace, but refuses to take any rent off me, so I've been repaying her by sneakily buying food and cooking her dinner as I get home before her. We have plans to move in together this summer, ready for next year. My parents have done a complete 180 and now want me to forgive them so badly that they're still refusing to sign a letter showing that they've cut me off, so I'm still effed with student finance. My parents have also offered me my truck back, so me, my roommates, and 2 more friends will be going to my parents' house sometime soon to collect my truck and some things from my room. My tutor has written a letter for me for student finance, which they might accept, but I'm waiting to hear back. My course changes were approved, so now I'm doing what I want, not what my parents want, and it looks like I got my work placement. So I'll either be working and studying part-time for 2 years or working all next year and finishing studies the year after. Either way, I'll be adding an extra year to my course, but I get paid and get relevant experience in my field. Ultimately, everything seems to have worked out as well as it could. Thanks to everyone who commented, because a lot of you gave great advice and thought of stuff that I didn't. And I was truly concerned that I was in the wrong, so thanks for the reassurance too. I will also be booking a session with the on-campus mental health professional because this really has shone a light on just how messed up my family is. Thanks again. In the comments, Lucidity says, "The absolute shame those parents quote-unquote should feel. Disgusting. Don't forget the dumb brothers too. Hey, let's tell our homophobic parents that our sister is a lesbian. That'll be the perfect prank." I literally kept a secret from my mum for my brother until she died. It's not hard to be a good sibling. They all deserve to be cut off. I'm surprised OP is even able to go get the truck and all the rest of their stuff back, but what sad, pathetic people to do that to OP, to all come together to mess with her in a situation that they all collectively pressured her to do from the get-go. They all pressured her into doing that. It's not like OP was like, I'm gonna take a risk. I'm gonna go to my first uni, no plan, no money, just a dream. They all set her up to fail. They all deserve nothing to do with her going forward. I definitely say yes, scorched earth, have nothing to do with them anymore. They are not worth your time. And it already sounded like OP didn't really like them all that much, given their descriptions, so maybe you're going to be a lot happier in life, OP, without these pieces of shit in your life. I don't care if I'm angry, guys. This story got me pissed off. I'm passionate for OP. I feel like it's our moral obligation to be this pissed off when family screws you over like this, lest you allow it to happen again. Because if I'm in this situation, I'm certainly not allowing my boundaries to be crossed and my life to be torn apart by those I'm supposed to be able to rely on. Thank you for the story, OP. Genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, I hope everything continues to look up from here, because it's already looking pretty good. What with the work placement, so good luck. Our next post is by user electronicgas5769, titled, "Am I the asshole for uninviting my daughter to our Christmas gathering? I'm a mother of 4 children, 2 older sons and 2 younger daughters. All of them are adults and have moved out a long time ago. I've always been close to my daughter S, while P has always liked to have her own space. Which I don't mind. They're both beautiful, talented young women that I thought I couldn't be more proud of. We're having early Christmas this year. The first week of December, I was inviting everyone around for Christmas dinner, gift giving, and the lot. When I phoned P yesterday to clarify a few things, she mentioned that she and her husband would not be coming. When I asked, she said that they had separated for now as he had cheated. I said that it was surely better to spend time with family if this was the case, and maybe she should come home for some time. She ummed and ahed, but then eventually she told me that he had an affair with Stinkbug, and they had been seeing each other for the past 2 years. I felt sick. For the past 6 months in our talks, S had alluded that she had been seeing someone and was typically girl in love. I uninvited S to the Christmas gathering and blocked her. I don't know if I'm able to deal with her before Christmas, but this is family time, and family can't hurt each other like that. I'm at a loss in all honesty. P is now coming, which is good, because at this time she needs the stability of people who love her, in my opinion. The problem is that S naturally thinks that I'm in the wrong. It's none of my business, and as her mother, I can't block her and remove her from the family. My sister thinks that I shouldn't get involved in their personal lives, which I think is bullshit. My daughter needs us right now. But then she tells me I have 2 daughters to think about, which I think isn't true. S has forfeited that right at the moment. Thankfully, my husband is liaising with Sally at the moment, but he is also in solidarity with me. So are we in the wrong for uninviting a daughter for Christmas? A small update: Penny's mother-in-law found out. While me and her have only spoken a few times, she did dote on Penny, and I know Penny got along well with her. I haven't spoken to her personally, but I know she phoned my daughter and was really supportive and crying. My sister said that if Sally isn't invited, then she isn't going either, which is fine by me. She wasn't invited in the first place due to the pandemic. Otherwise, I've been working and doing some crochet, so it's been quiet. In the comments, Cheerily Terrified says, "Not the asshole." No. Sleeping with her sister's husband is a really good reason to uninvite your daughter. This is a case where one has so massively wronged the other that staying neutral or not taking sides is taking a side. I've seen a few of these that go the other way and want the betrayed sister to suck it up and put their hurt and feelings aside for the sake of the family, so good for you for not pulling that bullshit. Right? She went from S to Stinkbug and I was like, who? Me too. Hoagie Mama says, "Not the asshole. Uninviting your daughter to one family event to support your other daughter who she violated is not wrong. You don't say that you're disowning Stinkbutt, just that Poopface is currently your priority." If Stinkbutt has even a shred of reason, this will make sense to her. She knows what she did is wrong. I agree, Poopface deserves all of the charitability in this instance, because Stinkbutt was such a monster. I can't take this seriously when she changes names so much. Why those names? Why did you have to do this to me, OP? Anyway, I agree with OP in this instance. S, Sally, Stinkbutt, whatever her name is, has, forfeited the right to be OP's daughter in this instance. Screw her. I don't think you cut her off completely, but you definitely put her in timeout, that's for sure. I'd be disgusted in my kids if they did something like this to their own sibling. Who the hell do you think you are? Have you lost your damn mind? You definitely need punishment for that. Social stigma, shame, and being ousted from the family for a considerable amount of time so that you learn that you can't get away with shit like that. Absolutely. And also shame on your sister for saying that you need to be better to your daughter that has done something so shameful. No, shame on you, sister. How dare you defend someone's actions like that and shame OP for standing up for someone that was wronged in the family. I look down upon those that defend such evils. I fully back everything you've done here, OP. Absolutely continue doing God's work here. You're not the asshole at all. And now, onto the update, 1 month later. Hello all. My Christmas gathering was yesterday, and my son and husband wondered if I would post an update for you all. It's been rather uneventful, but I've been equally surrounded by warmth and love, while also feeling heartbroken and lonely. So first of all, since my post, my husband has been teaching me to use Reddit. I've really enjoyed being in some craft communities. My daughter Penny has been staying with us. She works from home. My husband and eldest went to get some more of her stuff from her old house. Penny's mother-in-law, Jane, was there and was very helpful and sweet. She also bought some mint hot chocolate for our Penny and Christmas candles. I know they are her favorite. From what Penny has told me, Jane is having similar feelings to me. A lot of guilt over our children's decision to hurt people we love. I think at this point we have to accept that we did our best raising them, but they're adults now, so we can't beat ourselves up. Penny and Jane are going to stay in touch. I think Jane truly does think of Penny as a daughter/friend. On to some more negative things. I wrote my letter to Sally during this time. I expressed that I was extremely disappointed and also disgusted. While I will continue to have a relationship with her, she won't be welcome to any family gatherings with Penny present unless Penny has met a point in her life where she feels comfortable. I told her what some of you had said, that not taking a side would be a side, and that she had for all intents and purposes already uninvited herself when she was so cruel to her sister. Sally had apparently come up on Friday and knocked on the door. I was out shopping at the time. My husband spoke to her. Apparently, Sally and Michael, my son-in-law, are going to continue their relationship. I will not support it in any way or form. She may be my daughter, but that man is not welcome. I am supporting Penny through the divorce, and if Sally ever expects money for the wedding or a house, then she is a very naive girl. My husband sent her away, after which Sally had said that we have to get over it someday. Otherwise, the Christmas gathering was lovely. It was strange not getting drunk and playing board games due to COVID, but still a pleasant time. My hip hurts from the cooking, but my husband and Penny did the cleaning up, so who's the real winner? I hope you all have a wonderful day. Thank you very much for your kind words when I last spoke to you. In the comments, HollyStar241 says, I wasn't able to judge your other post, as it's locked, but I'm glad your Christmas gathering went well, OP. And just to say you're not the asshole for uninviting Sally, and I hope P can move on from this, and perhaps find a better man who won't cheat on her and treat her like a queen. Weekly Conversation says, I agree. If Sally marries the asshole-in-law, then she will create a vacancy for the position of mistress. Saber Eyes says, you handled everything perfectly. We see many posts on here where the parents take the opposite approach. Welcome the sister and cheater to everything and tell the one that was wronged just to get over it. I mean, what the hell is up with that? Your get-together sounds like it was fun. It's cool they did the cleanup. I never thought that it's fair that the women in my family spent the first half of the day cooking and still had to do the cleanup afterwards while the men watched TV. OP replies, it was still a very hard decision to make. My heart breaks at a situation I can't fix. My husband will always do the dishes, as he insists I don't load the dishwasher correctly. Maybe I should do more of the cleaning incorrectly. Update 1 year later. I hope this message finds you well. A lot has changed since I last spoke with you all, so I would like to update you because I'm finding things a bit difficult right now. First of all, Penny is doing well. She met someone new about a year ago. They're incredibly supportive and sweet, and they made such an effort in getting to know me and my husband. Penny was still living with me when she started seeing them, so I got to watch their relationship develop, and although Penny is a grown woman, I couldn't help but be reminded of when she was a child and having crushes. It was very endearing, and I'm glad that I got to witness firsthand the smile her new partner gives her. Penny also got a new job and has moved to Ireland with her new partner. Sally and Michael have continued their relationship. I don't have a lot of love to give Michael. I'm civil enough, but frankly, it's difficult for me to become invested in their relationship at all. Michael recently asked my permission to marry Sally, which was disrespectful to say the least. Penny still lived with me last Christmas, so again, they were not invited. I am not hosting this Christmas and am instead going to visit my eldest son. He and his wife had a little boy at the beginning of this year. They've asked me to stay with them for a little while so that I can help with the cooking and cleaning, as they've been struggling a little bit. Finally, my husband passed away 9 months ago. He fell while on a walk and hit his head and was there for some hours before someone found him. It's been a difficult transition, to put it mildly. Being a little bit on the older side, I've lost a fair few people in my life, and while I did grieve, I always had the strength to continue. Losing my husband made me realize how much I relied on him, not just to take the bins out or pick me up from choir practice, but all the times I was angry, sad, and overwhelmed, and he was there for me. When other people passed away, at least you get moments of respite in the grief, where you just sort of forgot they've passed. With my husband, there are only reminders. Every time I wake up alone, when I now have to take the bins out, when I have to cook a meal just for one person. There's not really a moment of peace in this grief, and I've found it very difficult to deal with. It's his birthday at the end of November, and there was another moment of grief as I had to get rid of my notes for birthday gift ideas in my notebook. Everything's just been so painful to deal with, and I just cannot stop crying even after all this time. I just can't even stand to think of the good moments that I shared with him because it just hurts too much. I know there's not a correct way to grieve or time limit, but I just feel like I've got to get up and start looking after myself for everyone around me. I really want to thank you all for reading this. It's been incredibly helpful just to be able to share my feelings a little bit. I hope you all have been doing well. And now for the latest update, 2.5 years later. I wasn't quite sure how to respond to all the messages I received after my last post. It seemed like a mighty task to reply to all of you individually, so although I appreciate the well wishes, you'll have to settle for sharing the thank you message. So, thank you for all of the advice and care that you've shown since that one Christmas so many years ago. When my husband passed, I couldn't see another way to live my life. We had shared and created so much together, and I suppose I never imagined a life without him because I never wanted it. That being said, my husband quite selfishly died, and so after a year of stagnation, it was time to live a life without him. I have moved closest to my eldest son and wife to help raise my grandchildren. It was difficult at first, because although the children keep me busy and gave me joy and purpose, I did sometimes wish to talk to someone my own age about my own interests and not just Bluey. Serendipitously, I ran into an old friend of mine at the leisure center about a half a year ago, and she is also widowed. It feels like a light in my life has been switched back on. We reconnected almost instantly, and it's a blessing to have someone that I can rely on again. We are living together, and she is pretty much considered co-grandmother. While I do still wake up alone, I now know that the kettle is already boiling downstairs. Penny is doing well. She's now moved to the Netherlands for work, and she and her partner are still together. They've just recently gone back home after visiting for the week. Sally is also doing well. I know for some that will be disappointing to hear, including myself sometimes. On one hand, as a mother, I'm glad she's happy. On the other hand, equally as a mother, I can't forgive her for hurting Penny. I also have some deeper resentments as my husband passed while he was also hurting because of the decisions that she has made. Sometimes I feel it's unfair to hold that against her. We still talk, and I still love her, but sometimes I feel like I'm going through the motions rather than caring for my daughter as I used to. It's also a really hard thing to talk about to other people. There's a lot of guilt and shame involved when sharing that sometimes I feel quite ambivalent towards my daughter. All in all, the last couple of years have been a bit eventful. I would give everything to turn back time, but I can't, and so I spend my time appreciating everything I still have. Once again, thank you all for your advice, care, and well wishes. The help I received was invaluable for navigating a difficult time in my life. In the comments, 123LGB says, "Things OP experienced. One of her children hurt another of her children in one of the cruelest ways possible. Her husband died in an unexpected and traumatic way. She had to move towns and make new social connections. Her nuclear and extended family are all emotionally and geographically split up, and she has to force herself to go through the motions and live with the fundamental lack of care that she feels for one of her own children. Unhinged Redditors say to her, 'You should also die.' Like, what more pain could you wish on this lady? Right? Like, my mum went through a hell that I can't express. Lost her husband and her sight within 6 months. Is she perfect? Hell no, but throughout my life she tried to defend me the best she could and provide a safe and caring home. Again, she is flawed, but the hell she's gone through throughout her entire life, widow and blindness is just the tip of the iceberg of hell. I will never let someone talk shit without giving them a piece of my mind." Just another one of those tough stories, really. Like, there's no winning in a situation like this. Life sucks. People can suck. People are flawed. People are not perfect. And honestly, I admire OP for coming back and sharing their story with us every step of the way, even through the worst of times. Like, I genuinely can't imagine having to go through all of that and then 3 months later, your husband just drops dead. Genuinely hell on earth. And then to come back 2.5 years later, still find a light in the darkness. Absolutely love that. I wish nothing but the best for her. It really does suck. I can't downplay that. And to have assholes come at her and be like, you know what, you're imperfect and you didn't do the right thing here and you need to do what I say. Screw those people. Genuinely screw those people. They get to live in their little lap of luxury away from the hells that OP here is dealing with, and they don't have to be the one in the driver's seat. I hate people like that, and I love people like OP that can persevere. I'm gonna say it, I don't care. People that attack OP are just as bad as OP's daughter that cheated with their brother-in-law. Just gross. Very weird people. Anyway, that's the end of that story. I'd love to know what you guys have to think of this one down in the comments. Look at me firing off on all cylinders today, huh? Anyway, guys, that's where I'm going to end the episode today. I do hope you enjoyed. If you did, let me know what you thought of it in the comments down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.